And Mr. Dickerson, before you again, will you please state your full name and spell your last name for the record? And then I'm happy to consider anything that you'd like to tell me.
My name is Alan Charles Dickerson, Dickerson. I am Christopher's father, and this time I would like to set the record straight about Christopher and the character of that young man. Christopher was a loving and giving child. He overcame many difficulties growing up. When he was 10, he had a bad accident on a bike and broke both wrists. He overcame that and was able to purchase a dirt bike and continued to enjoy the outdoors, riding dirt bikes with his friends. He was always interested in tinkering with things. He was a kind and generous young man. He was friendly to all he met. He was an extrovert in nature. He never saw anything bad in the people that he met, although he was able to overlook other people's troubles and be giving and generous. One time when he was going to school in Laramie, Wyoming, we were buying a meal for Chris, and he purchased a meal for someone that was having extreme difficulty that most of us would just overlook, but not Chris, because his character was giving and generous. He bought that man a meal. He saw him in need. Chris achieved his dream of getting a higher education. He graduated Wildtech in Laramie, Wyoming with a degree in diesel mechanics and a bachelor's degree, an associate degree in business administration. Christopher got his first break when he interviewed for Noosa Yogurt. He was a shift manager for Noosa Yogurt, and I'd like to set the record straight. Chris did have difficulty at Noosa at the last 30 days because he was a whistleblower. Chris was a stand-up individual, and when Noosa was going through a buyout from Sosa Brands, he would not go along with management, even at the risk of losing his job. Chris stood up for a contractor that was a snow removal contractor for them, and he eventually lost his job because of that retaliation. He was a whistleblower. Chris did not deserve to die that day when he befriended those two young women. Chris deserved so much more in his life. He had overcome so much more in his life. He overcame more than most people would be able to accomplish. I was very proud of him. He had his difficulties as a young man. He suffered addictions. He overcame them. And as he was growing and learning about how to become a better man, to help himself achieve a better life, he was able to accomplish his dreams. He bought a home. He saved. He lived with us for at least 3 years while he was saving for a home. He had a serious relationship with a young woman, and it didn't work out. That was a hardship for him. But he had a loving companion in his dog, Juna, and he adored her, and she adored him. We now have Juna, and it's the only thing we have left of Christopher to remember him by. All his earthly possessions were consumed in a fire meant to conceal a horrible death inflicted on him by two individuals. Again, Chris did not deserve the outcome that he received. He did not deserve to have his body mutilated, moved, tampered with. He did not deserve to leave nothing for his family and friends to remember him by. All his childhood mementos gone. I ask this court to do justice today for Christopher and his family and his friends and the community at large that were put at risk by the arson to conceal a horrible death of a loving, giving young man. I ask for the maximum sentence allowed by law. This person has victimized us again over this last 2.5 weeks by dragging us through a painful accounting that is totally based in fiction. I ask for the jury to not let this person hurt or harm any other person or family. That's what I have to say.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dickerson. I appreciate your presence throughout this process. Mr. Pralia, does the state have any additional witness statements for the court's consideration?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Hi,
Thank you.
my name is Ann Dickerson, and I'm Christopher's mother.
And ma'am, I'm so sorry. Can you speak up just a little bit? I think I heard you say that you were Ann Dickerson and that you were Christopher's mother. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yes. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for this chance to talk about Christopher. It is so good to hear people saying his name and speaking of him well. When we lost Chris, I didn't feel that I could bear it, that things could go on. He was our firstborn. He was his brother's only sibling. He was blessed with a good sense of humor, an adventurous kind of curiosity, and good nature and generosity. He did struggle. He did struggle, but he didn't give up, and there were people who helped him not give up, and I want to thank them, including his brother Matthew, my family, Ellen's family, our friends, his teachers, his counselors, the people that he ran into in the courts, in the system, in his friends. He just never gave up trying to make it better for all of us. I just want to thank you. We have been so fortunate to have a team of people that are shielding and protecting Christopher when we can't and when he can't. I am just so grateful. I can't tell you how grateful I am that his name was spoken and spoken of well. Thank you.